Hello everyone, and welcome back to our Beastmen campaign for Mortal Empires. Now today we're starting things off with a siege defense at Altdorf, where if you remember a wood elf army came to attack us. Now the balance bar predicted that we will lose this fight quite decisively if I remember right, just because of the amount of Zoats that the enemy are bringing to the fight. But rather than just auto-resolve it, I decided to fight the battle myself and see how we do. Now I'll go back to normal speed because we are the defenders and I want to talk through my strategy and what happens. But before we actually start things off, I want to take a minute to ask you guys to go to the community tab on my channel and go to the straw poll post on the latest comment. As you may know, if you follow the Yasugi campaign is finished and I need a new one to replace it. So rather than pick one myself, I figured I'll let you guys pick the next one. So on the straw poll there is a whole bunch of different options. You can pick as many of them as you like, the ones that you find interesting, and they are a range of ones from Total War as well as non-Total War games, and I'm just interested to see what you guys would like. If you do have any other alternatives such as faction ideas you would like to see for Total War and what have you, feel free to post them in the comment section of that comment, if that makes sense in the replies, and I'll be able to take those ideas on board for the next campaign. Now, I've introduced that bit and I've talked about that. Let's speed up the game a little bit. So, we are the defenders in this fight, and so my original plan is rather than charge straight in, where I would have had to engage with all those Zerats, I decided to try and stay on the top here so we can take advantage of the Cygor, as well as letting them come towards us and tire themselves out. Now, unfortunately, the AI wasn't going to go and follow that plan. So you can see they brought in some Hawk Riders, which turned out to be a very poor target for my Cygor's rock, although he did hit one. I don't think he even hit one in the original battle, so good luck for him. So, these guys are busy shooting. I decided to try and bring in my Manticore and my Harpies to chase them down, but I didn't realise as I charged them in that these guys have got a movement of 123. My ones have got 90 and 87. So they were able to run away quite easily, shooting at my troops the entire time. I thought, well, hopefully we'll be able to catch up with them as we make our way to the edge of the battlefield. But as we get closer and closer to the enemy's units, they're going to start shooting at me. I figured it'd be best then if I just pull my troops back and let them come towards me instead. So, if I speed things up a little bit at this point, you can see here is where I decided, alright, we'll bring him back. And something I didn't realise I did until a bit later is I did send my raiders originally to try and chase them down, but since they were running away I thought, okay, we'll start shooting at them now. Not realising of course that my raiders are absolutely crap it seems for trying to take them out. Okay, they did do a little bit of damage, I'll give them that. But yeah, everybody else just devastated them and they start retreating off the map. Now, if I head to my main line for a minute, you can see here I've got all my Gors along the battle line here. I've got my Giants around and then on either side. In the far distance and over here, I've got my Centaurs. You can see them about to start moving. So I was going to get them in a position to try and go after the enemy's missile units, as well as their heroes. They do have a number of magic users, as well as a Blade Captain. I was a little concerned about this one, so I was going to try and see if it was going to run forward to attack. But it decided to stay behind instead. Annoying, but one of those things. Then over on this side, you can see my Minotaurs hiding in the trees. I was planning to send these out to try and flank, but I was again quite concerned about these Zoats. Because they are anti-large, they are able to take out quite a lot of the monstrous creatures I would be relying on to try and even the fight out a bit. And as you'll see during the battle, they are going to be very, very difficult to deal with. Not only that, they do have magic at their disposal, which is highly annoying. But the Giants are now coming in to try and help out. We've got Treeman and Treekin over here, as well as Zoats. I am bringing in the Minotaurs. You could just see them through the battle there, making their way to try and flank the enemy's units. Because of how quickly they move, I decided to just put them up here, so they can get a nice rear charge. But already you can see how much devastation they're causing. This Gore herd has already been shattered to less than half its men, relatively speaking, if you consider them men. So yeah, that's bad. But going along the line then, we're able to try and deal with certain things. They decided for some random reason to bring their Hawk Riders in. So we were able to slaughter them quite easily using my Beastagors. And, well, the fight continues along the side then, with more Zoats charging in. I did leave these guys for a little while, because I was focusing too much on the other battles, a lot of the fights, to send them in, but I will send them in eventually, so they'll be able to join in and help even the odds a bit. Now, with regards to the Centaurs, over on this side, you can see I've taken a few casualties. It's because they got caught up by a few of the units over here, I believe. It was the Zoats that charged in, as well as the Glade Captain. So yeah, he was able to get 28 kills already. Not exactly ideal, but we did do a fair bit of damage to their missile units, so not all bad, I must say. Ooh, Dwellers below there. Luckily though, it only did some damage to my Beastigors, and we're still able to hold on pretty strongly against them. Although it's now leading to a bit of a clusterfuck here in the centre. We've got Eternal Guard getting chucked at by rocks. We've got all sorts going on down here. Now, luckily for me, while this fight's been going on, we have managed to deal with that Zoat unit over here. So, while the troops are trying to chase them down, I'm instead changing their direction to try and join in the two big fights. We've got this one going on here in the centre, and this one on our right flank, which is not going too well for us. You can see the enemy's concentrating quite a bit over here, so I'm trying what I can do. So I've got my Raiders, for example, firing on these Zoats. We've got Minotaurs running away, but they will soon be coming back. And my plan was really just to try and break up the centre here as much as I could. We do have the Cygors still chucking in rocks, and we've got the other units back here. My Centaurs are still trying to do some damage against the enemy Ray Watchers, and go after their other heroes, as you can see here. But generally, it's still going pretty badly. I was impressed though with Vilvacus here, their Spellweaver. The fact was, she was able to get over 100 kills, and I wasn't entirely sure how she managed to pull that off. I didn't see any spells, you see, that would have led to them doing that. But she managed to pull it off nonetheless, so congratulations to her, I guess. Now the fight's going on pretty well here still. You can see the tree man just barging his way through to go after that giant. But it's not going to be much of a match for him in this fight. Quite happy to let them keep going. And if we pull back a little bit, you can see it's still on the balance at this point. We've still got a couple of units here, like I've got an Eagle getting shot at by some Raiders. I've got some more Zoats about to charge up and go after this. I was able to intercept them then eventually with the Gores. Still got Treekin and things trying to attack my Cygor. It didn't go too well for them. But really, it was just trying to deal with this fight and get through it as quickly as we could. The Zoats were able to hang on in there for quite some time though. They're doing a lot of damage, they're just surviving and doing a hell of a lot against my infantry. But you can see their leaderships are very, very low. They're starting to waver, and it won't be too long until they will start breaking. Now, there's still a couple I would have needed to deal with, such as the Glade Captain here. I would have to chase him down eventually. But everybody else is slowly running off, but because of their high leadership, is making their way back in again. We are chasing down a bunch of them at this point. We've managed to secure that fight in the center. The only thing left to deal with now is this tree man. And he is losing. He's exhausted as well. Leadership is very low. And if we hand over here, you can see the enemy now at this point starts the chain route. Only 3 models left and counting. Now, it wasn't to say, as you can see from the casualties, it wasn't an easy fight for us. We lost a couple of units in running away. We almost lost, for example, the Brave Shaman, who's been quietly trying to buff up our troops with, or debuff, I should say, the enemy using Devolve, as well as using the occasional Vile Tide where needed. But at this point now, the victory is mine. We just need to try and chase down as many of these survivors as we can, which you can see over here with my Centaurs going after their heroes. And with that, guys, I think we can make our way back to the campaign map. So there we have it, a Pyrrhic victory for us. Now, I couldn't believe, looking at the casualty reports, that Vilvacus was able to get over 106 kills. But I haven't been paying that much attention to her spells during combat, which is probably why. But we managed to eliminate most of the enemy army, which I'm happy with. They still got a couple of Zoats, they still got 2 of their heroes, although one of them is near death, and they still got a tree man. But if they try to attack Altdorf again, we'll be able to defend him much more easily this time round. So, what we're going to do with the captives, well, we can get 1% replenishment. Wow. Okay. or we can go for that. Let's get the favor. Why not, eh? So they're going to go back, and they are going to be taking attrition from the Chaos Corruption. So, yeah, that's going to be useful. That isn't going to be that good, though. Now, bear in mind, I don't know what they've got at this point, but if they try to attack Altdorf after we've just defended it... Ooh. Hello. What's this? Gore the Earthshaker has an opportunity to intercept Caliph. Right. A close victory will cause us to lose the Harpies, but we would eliminate a lot of their Glade Guard, as well as units like the War Dancers and that. Sure, I'm going to accept that loss. We can easily get another unit of Harpies, or even swap it out for something else, but I'm quite happy to go with that. And we're going to go ahead and get some replenishments. Anyone else want to have a go now? No? Ooh. Did she just lose a couple of heroes then, or something, from the corruption? I don't know, I'm sure I just saw the amount of units in the cards. So, unit cards just sort of go down a little bit before they disappeared off the map. Oh well. Ooh, what do you want? You want a peace treaty and for me to pay you 4,000? Really? Wow, you've only got 3 territories to your name as well. You think you can try and come to me for land? And peace, I mean. You know what? Sure. I'll take it for the No. I'll tell you what, is there anything more we can do? No. I'm just going to expect them to take it. Nope. Oh well, you couldn't say I wasn't open to the idea of a peace treaty. Just didn't want to pay them 4,000 favour for it. But we just need to get through the rest of the end turn phase, and we'll start making our plans for attacking the spirits of Athelloren. Alright, so hostile hero activity with this character failing to wound Arak, that's good news. Dulas are dead. Colis, Caliph, okay. Alright, Morgul, what can we do with you? I think the first thing I want to do was get Chaos Spawn. I saw that a bunch of his bonuses do give us extra caps for them, especially as we keep going up further and further along here. So definitely want to go for that. We do need 3 more points. Okay, we should actually be done fairly quickly, I would have thought. So in the meantime, we're just going to continue moving him up to join up with the forces that are going to be coming here. Oh, hello. Oh, I saw this, Karak, and I thought there was Helmgard for a moment. So I was thinking, oh, Mucilan have managed to come and take it. But no, they haven't. Oh well, I'm a little disappointed now. Anyway, let's move you up to about here. This should still give him enough movement in to get back into encampment. And then we'll be able to sort out a few extra buildings, so we'll grab that. We'll go ahead and give you this and get the Chaos Spawn. I think that's really it for now. We could go for a Shaman's Flame Pit, just for the extra winds and magic. Sure, we'll grab that. And then, do I want to go for Centaurs with him? Not really. I'd rather go for things like the Fire Pits, so we can get Minotaurs, or even go along here so we can get our hands on Gorgons and that. A Jabba's Life would be quite fitting for the army as well. And then, of course, we could always go for these. And I think for him, we definitely need the Khan of Change. So, we'll leave that for the moment. Did I not have a hero for you? Or was they wounded? I honestly can't remember. In any case, we'll come back to that. So, Goras Warhoof. Right, we did spot you in the underway, didn't we? So I think you can have the honours of going after Karak Izor this time. It does predict a Pyrrhic victory, and we will lose our 2 units of Gors. Okay. What I'm going to do then is just bring in another unit. It doesn't really matter, in all honesty. So, Gore, you can come down and provide some reinforcements. That should be enough now to tip it into my favour. Yeah, just nice victory. We'll take that. And with this, we're going to go and raise another Herdstone. There we go. Goras Warhoof has now got the bonuses for defeating Belagot Ironhammer. Although I don't know about the Unbreakable traits. I don't know if that would have been a good choice for him. But it's a bit late now, isn't it? Okay, we're gonna go for shamanic challenges so we can get the line of sight around the area. And it's mainly going to be minor settlements. So what I'm looking at... Let's go for the Winds of Malady. Given that this actually will extend out into Alpha-Lauren, any bonuses that we can provide for our troops and to disadvantage the enemy will be really, really useful. Right, Slugtongue. Ooh, where am I going to send you? I'm going to actually ask you to use the beast paths to jump up to here. Because then what we can do is actually go after Festespike and Grannar Berlikson here. Take this, and then we can just jump back down then into Alpha-Lauren from here then. Oh, still need to do the attrition though before we try and make any big steps. But we're also going to have to try and make our way down towards here first. Let me have a quick look. If we go for Montfort, that will give me access to Helmgard, Karak Ziflin, Paravon, Massive Oracle, all of which have fallen to the Spirits of Alpha-Lauren. But it won't give me any access to there. What happens if I push down here? That could actually work out much better. If we take Paravon, that will give us Montfort. We don't have to worry then about going after Blackstone Posts, because it's not part of it. Massive Oracle is... But then it will also allow me to focus on going after the Waterfall Palace and Vol's Anvil. Yeah, that would be a much better choice. Okay, then in that case... Morgul is going to take the opportunity to rest up. I'm going to have to bring these guys up here in order to try and help defend Altdorf. I'm just wondering if we can move up close enough to actually be able to set up some sort of ambush. Excuse me, I did try and move you and you weren't moving. Right. Oh, it's going to be 3%. Okay, let's just move you all the way up towards here. And we're going to get Malagos to try and do the same. Okay, we might be... Oh, we can't quite reach Vilvokas. That's okay though, because that's going to be using up supplies. Oh no, the AI don't have to worry about that, do they? No matter. Right. You're going to get that. You're going to finish off there. Everything else then should be done, as far as I'm aware. Let's quickly do your points. So, Darzius, just give you Wound Maker at this point. Goros, we're still continuing to work on his combat abilities, so he's got Hatred of Man. So I think we'll go for Primal Instincts. He needs to improve his melee defense a bit. For these, Traitor Kin, Arak Gorhorn, now with your 2 points, we're going to go for Blade Master. And I think we're going to go for Primal Instincts for you too. Okay, Gore. Let's just finish off a natural first. So he's got all of that now done. Goreclaw has got everything here. So we're just going to continue spreading corruption, I think. And there we go, finally the end turn. Oh, here comes Big Daddy Durthu. Interesting, so they're going to go and try and attack Malagast. It's going to be a valiant defeat. But what do we actually have to face? The initial army itself will be easy pickings, and I can see now what they've done is basically merged all these Zerats into one big unit. Durthu is going to be at trouble, to say the least. But in all honesty, I think we can do okay against the rest of them. It'll be annoying trying to deal with units of like the Glade Guard and the Way Watchers, and we don't have anything really that can deal with the Hawk Riders. But sure, let's give this a go. What I will do is I'm going to give this to one of our Minotaurs. The fire attacks would be quite useful against the enemy trees. So, let's fight the battle. So here we are, guys, for our second battle of the episode, where Malagos and his Cornagors are charging straight towards the big starting army. Now, if I bring up the camera a minute, something I didn't realise until I actually got onto the battlefield is that we were actually facing 3 Wood Elf armies, and 2 of them were pretty big ones. So, when they realised, oh crap, this was what was happening, I decided what we'll do instead is go after the central army first, kill these off as quickly as we could, and then we'll go straight forward and then to go after the army back here. Now, it was only when they started making their way on that I realised this was Durthu's army, the only other reinforcement that I was aware of. Oh damn, hiccups are kicking in already. But it's got plenty of time for us to deal with them here. So Malagos is already going in as well as Jindari just to do those initial damages. I was hoping I would be able to do them very quickly, but they were surprisingly resilient. You can see a couple of them are still hanging on, but at this point now we've got my Minotaurs coming in, Khorngors charging in, everything else is just going to town right now. Malagos here has been going up after those Zoets. And the Tree Man is trying his best to hang on in there, despite his buff of 60 armor. But because of how little they got left of the initial army, I'm rushing them through, as you can see, to go after the army in the back. Now, I wasn't aware at the time the Zoets were coming in to attack us, so I'll be bringing in troops to deal with those easily enough. And I did end up having to sacrifice one of my Khorngor units back here, because I realised the enemy was coming in and they were leading the way with this Glade Lord. So when I saw he was quite close by and trying to come after them, I'm quite happy to leave these guys here and be a sacrificial lamb of sorts in order for us to be able to try and deal with this army here. Now the enemy do unfortunately have a lot of units like Hawk Riders and the like, so it's going to be a pain in the butt because we don't really have many of those units. And I foolishly as well forgot to order my raiders to join the initial fight over here, so these guys would get caught up by the enemy's reinforcements coming behind us, and yeah, it won't go too good for them, I will admit. But if we make our way over towards here now, a fight is starting to kick off. We've got some more Hawk Riders up here, but my Khorngors are avoiding them, well, because I can't really do anything else but that. And we're starting to charge units in across the board. You can see one of my giants here, What Mootkirka, a name given by one of the viewers a while back, but I don't think we've actually had much of a chance to use him in combat. So, he's already going to town on the enemy's Treekin and Eternal Guards. You can see the enemy's Glade Guard are firing away with their magical arrows. And over here, in fact, you can see my Centaurs are taking a couple of casualties. But I'll be pulling them back into the woods so we can go and chase after the enemy's missile troops at a later date. Now here's Big Daddy Durthu himself, trying to push forward. Why are you leaning forward so much? Oh, it's not just the camera, right. But all of the Khorngors are now charging in. They are able to deal with the enemy's infantry one-on-one, but it's dealing with all this missile fire, which is going to be a pain in the backside. But Durthu is going to be meeting his match any second, as here comes Malagos. Bam! One headbutt into immovable spark. Now, initially, Durthu is going to be winning this fight decisively with his bonuses here, Stand Your Ground and Foe Seeker. But Malagos has still got a bunch of his own. He's got Deadly Onslaught activated, as well as Barbed Knuckle Boxing for those extra bonuses. And he's going to start making very short work of Durthu. He's even getting a Shadow Dancer coming in, and that was a bit of a punch back then to knock him down. But yeah, despite the size difference between them, Malagos is doing extremely well in the fight, I must say. Anyway, if we lift things up a little bit and just get a bit of a better idea of what's going on in the battlefield itself, I do have my Centaurs still keeping an eye on this flank, trying to go after units as we get an opportunity to do so. Bear in mind that they do have units like Treekin and that here as well. But I was able to bring in some Minotaurs to try and join in the initial fight, and we'll be bringing in more to help out once we've cleared things up over here. Now, of course, with that other army making its way in, I'd have to try and kill these guys off as quickly as I can. But luckily for me, Khorngors do a very good job at killing people in the name of the Blood God. So, they're continuing pushing through here. We've managed to cause a lot of them to retreat. Malagos has managed to get Durthu to start running away. I'm chasing him down initially, but I figured we'll use him for something else instead. So, unfortunately, we won't be killing him until later. But if we head back over here a minute, you can see now that we are now dealing with the last few remnants of that first reinforcement army. Oh, I need to stretch my back after this. The Minotaurs are still hanging on in there. The Khorngors aren't doing as well. They are exhausted at this point. They have ran across half the battlefield and engaged in a long-term fight. But things are still going okay. We've got our Centaur has just been chasing down enemy units every chance we get. And if I pop back over here, you can see that this is what I was talking about with our Ungol Raiders. I think they did a fair bit of damage against the enemy Glade Lord, in all honesty. But it was these Lost Silver Knights that proved a problem. They just charged forward, was able to wipe out first of all one unit and then the other. And if we head back over here, you can see that the corner guards, I should say, that we had holding back this army, have managed to do relatively okay. They did take quite a few casualties and were eventually wiped out, but they managed to hold the line, which is exactly what I wanted from them. The enemy now is slowly making their way on. They have a couple of regiments of renown, such as over here, the Firebark Elders, but yeah, they're still going to be taking their sweet time, meaning we can finish off the situation over here and then start getting our troops in position to receive the second army. Now what they got left here really is a unit of Treekin. They got a couple of ones again shot at across the board, mainly from our Centaurs with thrown axes. I've just got them running around to try and go after them from behind. And all I need is for them to retreat. It's not going to take much more for us to finish them off, it's just waiting for those final few moments. There we go, done. So, once I realised most of the enemy now were retreating and moving away, I didn't realise Durthu had actually not disappeared off the map. I thought he had, but he was hiding in the trees here. But with those now defeated, we've got enough time now to try and reorganise the army ready for the second wave. So, I got my Centaurs initially to try and run forward, to try and get a few more kills in for the Dryads, and start going after the Hawk Riders. But they were going to be massacred by the enemy's missile fire if I let them. So, I pulled them back instead and allowed the rest of the troops to get in position. It's not a good idea for me to be just standing here. But what I was trying to do actually, and if you look back here, you'll notice that some of the Glade Guard have got very little in the way of ammunition left. And this was actually due to one of our army abilities. I think it's called Violent Entropy. And what it does, it really reduces the amount of ammunition that an enemy unit has. You might need up to 2 uses of the ability in order to completely wipe out an enemy's ammunition stockpile. But it is very, very useful, especially against armies like Wood Elves that rely a lot on their ranged units. Now, admittedly, you can only try and do it within the area it's in, so it does require a bit of a clump in maneuvers by the enemy to actually catch him, but it does work at times, and there you go. Durthu has now been killed off by Malagos. Got some eagles trying to make their way in now, but we've already slaughtered, well, Big Daddy himself. I'm not concerned about some giant birds, even when even more giant birds come running in to help. And there we go, an amber spear just shot at by my shaman. Now, that's not through his magical spells, he's got the Law of Death, but he does have access to a magical item that gives him 3 uses of the amber spear spell. So I've been using that throughout the battle to try and go after Hawk Riders mainly, and occasionally making sure to use spells like the Pit of Shades you just saw, and whatever I can use to try and debuff the enemy. It's just trying to deal and micromanage everything that I'm not doing as well as I could have done with the spells. But occasionally we're kicking them off a bit, as you can see here. Managed to activate Soul Blight to reduce the enemy's attack and armor, really reducing it down to 0 in some cases. But the most of the fight's going on right here. We do have another skirmish going on right to the side, but you can see it's going very much in our favour. The Minotaurs are charging in, we've got giants nearby, there is a tree man here, but I think Malagos is somewhere in the melee, because, well, I wanted to use him to try... Oh no, he's over here. Whoops. I was trying to get him over there, that was it, to try and kill off the tree man, because I figured he's already defeated Durthu, he can go after another one. But instead I kept him over here. Now that's going to be a slight problem. You can see these Sylvan Knights charging in right now, and with their ethereal nature, they are going to be difficult for us to try and deal with. And, wow, they've done a lot of damage, 200 kills and counting. Wow. But all we need to do is just hold the line and kill off enough in order for them to break, and you can see already they've taken a lot of casualties. We've taken a ton too, but at this point, the enemy were out completely. We just need to chase down as much of them as we can. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch the Silver Knights. They are very, very fast. But I do try and get as many of my troops to chase down the enemies we can across the map and other places. Especially units like the heroes and the like. But you can see Centaurs are running in now to deal with the Firebark Elders. We've got heroes then like the Spellsinger here and another one here. Their Branch Wraith is getting attacked by my Minotaurs. So with this, guys, I think we can head back to the campaign map. So, Pyrrhic victory. We lost 3 units in this fight, but I think we gave a good account of ourselves given the enemy that we fought. Lots and lots of Glade Guard, plenty of monstrous infantry with Treekin, giant eagles and stuff like that, and a whole bunch of heroes. But we're able to wipe them out, including wounding Durthu himself. I have to admit, Malagos the Doomslayer really lived up to his name with that one. But what we're going to do with the survivors, we can get 3% casualty replenishment. Jesus Christ. All of these are bad. I'll take the casualty replenishment, I guess. You tell him, Malagost. You tell him. So we need to recruit a couple more units back, including some more Cornagors. I think we'll still go and get some more Ungors, because it's always useful to have those archers. Just to deal with some units when they have low armor, like we've seen before with the Imperial Spearmen, as well as Wood Elves in general. Their infantry tend to have pretty low armor, and so they are easy pickings for arrow fire, as long as you're able to get into range and stand up to their onslaught of arrow fire in their own right. Okay, back to my turn. Now I have to say that was a very eventful end turn phase, but hopefully we'll be able to continue the initiative in our favour and eliminate some more foes. I'm hoping we can kill off Clan Durazklad today. So, let's pop for all the pop-ups, enemies killed, whole bunch of elves, which is what we like to see, that's a lot. Tree Surgeon. Malagos now has flaming attacks when fighting against Wood Elves, 10% weapon strength and 10 armor. Oh, that is really good for him. A whole bunch of bonuses as well for Warhoof, and here we are. So let's first of all grab Slugtongue. We're going to try and kill off the rebels here, just because they're in the way at the end of the day. And we do need to go after Festus Spike. So, decisive victory, nice and easy. We will take... we'll take the Bestial Rage, I guess. And we have already got the Ritual Ruin available to us. Okay. Let's continue forward into Festus Spike itself. And take that. Then 11,500. Sure. I'll take that. Okay. Let's put you into this, because remember we still need to level some of these up. So go ahead and grab that, that, and that for you straight off the bat. Then over here with you guys. Thorgrim is nearby. I think we'll go after him. So Goros will get into range first of all. What does he actually have at his disposal? Whole bunch of longbeards. A bunch of miners and rangers. Okay. Let's have you then come down and attack and see if we can launch an ambush on him. No, he's run away. Okay. That's fine though. Oh, Ungrim's back. Right. Okay. What we're going to do then is this. I'm going to actually try and set up an ambush, right? By setting these guys up here, because while Gore could probably take him out, I would rather take the opportunity to give him some more troops back. So we did lose a couple of units, didn't we? So let's grab a unit of Slangors. We'll grab 2 of those, in fact, just to boost things up. Or better yet, is there any other units we can try and potentially get for them? I know we had the Harpies in it originally, but is there anything else? Not really. I'll go for the other unit then. That's fine by me. So, you can rest up here. Did you get all your buildings leveled up? Almost. I'll give that to you right now. And I suppose we could try and look into getting one of these, but I don't really need to, that's the thing. We'll leave it, we'll leave it. Here, we'll level you all up, and let's have a look. Kingsglade, we've got 2 armies, Dryker leading one, and Tralan leading another. The Karak halls of Findor seem wide open for us right now, and the Waterfall Palace, I can't tell anything about it right now. But we need to continue marching down south, so Malagos does need to take some time to heal up, I think, but we do need to finish off all these armies first. So if we grab Hattori, you can have the honor now of finishing off all of these small armies. So, kill them off. Alright, we'll just get the rage, I think, because there's nothing else really we need from that. Alright, Deforester. Cool. Alright, we'll push you down now to take out Manal and the remnants of this army. Nice and easy. There we go. Right, and from that then we'll start making our way towards here. What I'm thinking we'll do is jump over using the beast paths, and then we'll be able to march towards Paravan. So, we'll just send everybody up here at the moment for Hattori. Malagos will start doing the same, but I want him to take the opportunity to replenish his numbers a bit. So we need those Ungrim Raiders, and we'll take back another unit of... well, in fact... is there anything else we need to upgrade while we're here? Not really. I mean, we could always go for another Shaman's Flame Pit just for those bonuses. I know, after all, he is a follower of Khorne who's not the biggest fan of magic users. But we might as well do it while we're here, eh? So, let's come back onto here a minute. So, we'll grab one unit of Khorngors, and if we find our raiders... there we go. That's you guys sorted. Right, next job. So you've moved. Goss is moved, you've moved, and you've moved. Okay, so we've just got Morgul left. So what I'm going to do is just continue having him march up behind the other army until he gets into a position for us to be able to use him aggressively. He's already got the population surplus, so we'll be able to level up the main building in a second. So if we grab this, we'll go ahead and get that built up straight away. Unfortunately, there's nothing else we can really go for right now until we get the next level up. Because then we'll be able to go and unlock all these buildings in one fell swoop with the amount of points we've got. Is there any point in me trying to recruit any units? Could always go for the Iron Morsleep. I'll give you that, sure. And we could always give you some Ogre Mercenaries, but I'd rather... actually, I would have rather kept the points down. Let's just disband you for the moment then. Just thinking, I would rather try and get Chaos spawned for his army, and we're going to need those special rare points for that. So we'll come back to you. We'll quickly do all the points we need to do. So Malagos at this point can finish off Fury of the Herd for our bonuses for our infantry. Kaznor can get Spread Corruption because we've got everything else. So Hattori, we can finish off Enfeebling Foe for his spells. And now he's got all of that, and we can now give you Immortality. I think at this point it is well deserved given his accomplishments. Now you can get called to more sleep. Alright, the Shadowgrave, we're going to go and give you Gargantuan Hoof straight out way. And again, with this character I want to try and get Lightning Strike before we get for anything else. So, Feasting upon Man, Dark Apothecary, I think that will be a good choice. Here comes Thorgrim. Oh, he got spotted us in an ambush already, but we can defeat them. I'm going to go ahead just because we're right next to the battle, and it's just going to cost us one unit. So sure, wipe him out. And with the survivors, we'll get the replenishment. Oh, here comes Orion. Okay, Orion has now been ambushed. We've got two armies coming in to attack his one. He's got a whole bunch of units like Great Stag Knights and the like. And a whole bunch of Wild Riders too, and Glade Riders. It would be tempting to fight it, but no, we're going to do this. Because I might as well, we've already got to this point in things, so that's that. Here comes another one now, Tralan. And another one, Draco, God almighty. Okay, this one's going to be a valiant defeat. If we fight this. What I'm actually going to do, I think, I'm going to pull away. And see if we can get them into a more vulnerable position. If we can set up a lightning strike of our own, for example, and we'll go after some of those and get the replenishment we need, that's really going to help us out. I'd rather do that. And with them actually retreating away, could work in our favours now. So at this point, guys, I'm going to get through one more turn, so we got a bit of progress done today, and then we'll bring the episode to an end. Now, my plan is to finish off the dwarves, but I did notice on the events messages here that Clan Durazklad, so this is the clan up in the far north from one of the mods, has been obliterated as well. So, it looks like Chaos has been busy up there. But, we're going to pop through all of these. Wild Hunter, excellent. Okay, wow, that's a lot of pop-ups we have to get through. Okay, let's head down back here. And, first thing is to kill off the dwarves of Karak. So, if I get Gore and Goros to do the honours, can we get them moving down into position, or... Oh. You've got a lot of movement to try and do, my friend. Okay, let's use the beast paths. I'm going to jump down here. Looks like they weren't brave enough to try and intercept me. So, let's have you actually just march straight in and attack Karak. Decisive victory with the reinforcements. There we go. Dealt with and done. Then loot and ways. Okay, picked up the steel claws. Not that big a item. But most importantly, Clan Durazklad has been obliterated. And that is one of the factions we need to have eliminated in the campaign in order to achieve our victory. So, with that, we've also got 36 devastation points that we can use the Ritual of Ruin with. Now, the original plan was for me to actually try and go after these two as well, Kingsglade and the Crag Halls of Findol. But I've got a better idea. A more chaotic idea, very suitable for the Beastmen. But we are going to need to finish off this ritual, so I just want to double check our points. This will give us exactly 500 points. So, do that. We have now got our mission to do, the Fall of Man. You can read the description here. We're not going to do it right away, but I'll read about it then. For now, though, the most important thing is that we have immunity to attrition. So, we're going to start moving everybody back to when we need to then. You guys can rest up a bit. You still need to have an extra unit because you never got a chance to recruit him, did you? What do I want to go for with you? I suppose we will go for that extra unit of Slagors we never got around to recruiting. So, that's you guys done. Karak Izor can continue getting an upgrade. Right, and you, Slugtongue, could see about using the beast paths now to jump down to here. Some of you might already know what I might have in mind. Anyway. Right, you can start looking into upgrades. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to make your way up towards here. Oh no, actually. Yeah, we'll have you pop up to here. I'm sure they won't mind. If we just stay a little bit in there. Oh no, we'll just stay here. That'll be better. So you can stay here temporarily. And we'll take the opportunity now to upgrade everything. So we'll grab that, we'll grab that. We'll grab this from you as well. We'll go for these eventually too. Vile Entropy will be useful. We'll grab that. Then we're also going to grab the Minotaur's Lair. We're going to grab this for the Giants. And what else do I need? We still need a thing for this. Sorry, this one. So we'll leave that for just for now. We'll level that up too. What do we need to get that? Level 5. Got 25 points a turn, so it won't take too long. Good. Okay. So, in that case, you're going to now make the jump over towards Paravon. Okay, they do have an army here. But it looks pretty vulnerable. So I think we'll be okay if we get attacked. Especially as we're bringing in reinforcements too. There we go. So, that should be everything we needed to do this turn. I'm just going to double check, make sure that we've upgraded all our Herdstones with the highest tier buildings we can get. It looks like we either have or just about to do so. So that's fine. Let's quickly do this. So Gore now can get... oh, I don't know really. He's got all his combat abilities. I mean, Voice of the Dark Gods for the aura size maybe. Going for one of these. Or we can just start focusing on this. And this. So we'll start increasing our units in the army. You can get another point in that, and then I suppose we'll just have to start focusing on that, really. Okay, Desarius... have you finished off these? Right, let's give you Woundmaker. And I'm going to give you Shadowhide, just for the extra help. Goros... let's get Primal Instincts finished. You, Skitzer, can have Traitor's Kin. Anorak... let's get 2 points in Primal Instincts. Oh, we'll go for Devastating Charge too, why not? Yeah. This is a slight issue. Morgul has got a very low Bestial Rage because we've not been using him in combat. We're not in a position yet, I feel, for us to use him, so that's why I've just been, well, letting him just take the, well, get things built up. But it does mean he's going to be taking some issues, because what's happens when it's down here in amassing? Desperate. Encampment starts to give us -2. Yeah, passivity and suffering battle casualties will cause Bestial Rage to drop and make it difficult to, well, expand. We could go into Raiden stance, but I don't want to do that with Karak, Asgoaz, and Mucilon. I'd rather just take the casualties we're going to have to do through Devastation. But let's hit enter, and we'll end things here today, assuming nothing bad happens. Okay, here come the Wood Elves towards Molokh. The game actually predicts a Pyrrhic victory despite what we're actually facing. Interesting, but we would lose all our Gore units. For now, I'm going to ask him to retreat. If we do have to fight them again, then so be it, but I'd rather pull back a little bit and see if we can catch them in a lightning strike afterwards. Luckily for me, they're deciding to pull back. That could actually work out quite well for us. So with that, guys, we're going to bring today's episode to an end. Next episode, we'll focus our attentions on the spirits of Athel-Loren and taking the forest under our control. Once we dealt with that, then I'm going to focus all of my attention on taking out the Empire and all the factions involved. We need to do so as part of our victory conditions, so there's no need for us to head into Petonio or any further south. All our attention is on the rich lands of Man. But we're going to do that next episode. In the meantime, guys, thank you for watching today's one. I hope you enjoyed, and you do join me next time for some more Warhammer. Until then, everyone, take care, and goodbye for now.